Welcome back. If you saw my last video, we did a coolant filter on my Ranger, 93 Ranger here. I've gone probably about 60 miles on it, and I am not getting heat out of the vents anymore. I was, so it was working, but I have a feeling that thing plugged up pretty good within that 60 miles of running and flow and whatnot. And on these 30 and 40 degree days, it's kind of nice to have some heat. Takes a bit. Gauge, of course, is fully warmed up, but I'm still not getting. I've been driving around for 10 minutes or so, about 3-4 miles, 5 miles through town, so it's a lot of stop and go. So obviously gauge is all warmed up, but yeah, I'm still not getting heat. Maybe 60 degrees max coming out of my vents here. So I hate to change it this soon, but that might just mean that it's doing a really good job in cleaning out that dirty coolant we had, and it's plugged up now, not allowing it to flow through. So I think we're going to head back home, and we'll pop that filter off, put a new filter on, and cut the old filter open and see what it looks like inside there, see just how plugged it is and what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get back home, and we'll get to work on that. Stick around, see what this thing looks like. This right here is why I don't like this type. All right, there's what came out of the well, I took the filter off. You can see all that little crud in there and whatnot. So let's break open this filter and see what we got going on. Wouldn't you know it? Oh, I got just the nut right here. Get that guy to open up a little bit more for me. See if we can't do this without spilling too much. I got my bucket over here, so we'll see. That filter wrench I used, I do not care for that style. That's just what I happen to have handy to grab to get this guy broke loose. I really wasn't expecting this to be that tight on there, because I just put them on hand tight. Tight enough not to leak, of course. But anyway, there we go. To get this broke off, let me go ahead and dump the excess water out of here. Okay. Never seen inside a coolant filter before, so this is the first time for me. No type of pressure relief, it looks like. Yeah, no pressure relief valve on these. So once the filter is plugged, it's plugged, it looks like. It's a restrictive, what do you want to call it? Hole through the middle, just restricts flow. Make sure it stays in there. Hey, look at that, I cut myself. Stuff's sharp, by the way. But right there. Spring in the bottom. Looks like just a cap for the spring to ride on. But yeah, a little bit of sediment in the bottom. Now, as we've seen, I think somebody had dumped some stop leak in there at one time. So that's probably a lot of that got picked up on that initial run of the filter. So yeah, and of course whatever crud and sludge is in there. Filter. Yeah, a lot of sludge, sliminess on here. Feels like mud. You know, it probably is between that and, we don't call it, yeah, rust, everything else there. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure that's where my heat was going too. This thing got so plugged up it restricted the flow. So there you go. There you go. Coolant filter doing its job. Go ahead and take this thing for a quick run. Get that circulated, get any air burped out of the system for the new filter, get it filled up. Check the coolant levels, of course, but let's go for a test run and see if we got heat now. Oh yeah, lots of heat now. About a mile and a half, 2 miles into my test drive here. Temps, of course, all the way up to temp now. And we have got heat. Holy smokes, we got heat. 120 on my temperature gauge. Got a little meat thermometer in my vent here so I can test that stuff. Make sure my AC is still working good and all that sort. But yeah, real good heat. So yeah, that filter plugged up, doing its job great. Loving it so far. Taking care of them. Awesome. If you got a dirty system, definitely recommend. Of course, we still haven't cleaned the system fully yet. That's just one filter been in there. Only, like I said, I had about 60 miles on it, was all, and it plugged up enough to stop heat. Or at least it took a lot longer for me to get heat, because it was slowing it down and just not allowing it to heat the flow through the heater core as fast as it needed to. It'd be in there way too long, and of course would cool down before it had a chance to provide any heat. So I'm happy with that. We'll just have to keep changing the filters as soon as I find that I don't have heat anymore. I'll swap that filter out and keep on trucking until we got a nice clean fluid, and then hopefully eventually maybe once a year as opposed to every 60 miles or so. Then of course summer's coming, will be coming up here in a few months. But yeah, keep on trucking. I'm happy with it so far. No leaks, nothing like that. So with that said, as I mentioned before on my last video with the shopping around for filters, I went ahead and ordered, knowing that I was going to use this filter, I went ahead and ordered 2 more filters off of Amazon. They were $13, $12 and change. We're 13 bucks each on Amazon. They're 20 bucks for that same filter at O'Reilly's and wherever else. I also just got an email this morning from Amazon, of course, the suggested items for you, some relevant, some not. But it had another, and actually I'll have to double check the part number now that I think about it. But it had another filter head like I'd used, the Wix one, for about $15 less than what I paid for the one I got. No big deal. You know, I've got the one I got and it works, so this one looked exactly the same. Well, like I said, I'll double check part numbers if I do decide to order another one for any reason. But check online. These coolant filters were $8 less or so, $13 vice $20. And that's quite a bit when you think about it. You know, percentage-wise, whatever. So, appreciate you guys watching this one. I'll let you know when this does clear up, how the coolant looks and how long it, you know, how many times I've had to change the filter in the meantime. But I'll let you know then. Until then, I'm going to hope to have more videos on this Ranger. It's at 224,500 or 618. 24,000 or 220. Man, words today. 224,618 for miles. The reason I say that I'm guessing that many is this is a 5-digit odometer with the tenths marked on it. So only 5 digits show the 618. But the filter I pulled off when I first got this had a 212 marked on it. I'm assuming that was 212,000. So, but we'll get into that in another video. Like I said, I hope to do a walk around on this. I'll show you how I got the condition I got this truck in and what I've done to it so far. I've had it just over a year now, year and a half. And we'll do that. Not much online that I've found for the 93s, the 2nd gen Rangers. A lot of it's 95 on up, which by the time they got, even just in those 2 years, they started changing a lot in the motor department, you know, routing of air boxes and intakes and stuff like that, let alone the spark plug. There's got a distributor on it. I think 94 or 95, they went from the distributor to a coil block, or whatever they want to call it, but it's a block with 6 plugs on it. You know, all 6 plugs go to that block instead of a distributor. Again, changing stuff up. For the better, for worse, who knows? But we'll talk about that some other time. Until then, appreciate you guys watching. Keep you updated on stuff I'm doing. Hope to do a few more things. Like I said, I've done most everything already, you know, that I've wanted to do, but there's always something to tinker with, of course. We'll cover that then, and until then, we'll catch you all later. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I've got my Silverado channel. I got my Amsoil channel playlist. Go check those out. Those are in the description down below for you to link to. And we'll catch you then. Appreciate it.